Welcome to another episode of Dungeons and Dialogues, the show where I dialogue about dungeons and or dragons. I'm your host, Sam, and thanks so much for joining. In this series, we talk about everything D&D. We'll interview players, talk about how to play the game, build characters, and most importantly, have fun. Before we get into it, I wanted to say thank you to Dice Envy. Check out our affiliate link down below for some sick-ass dice. Also, check out our Patreon, Instagram, and podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can click on any of the links below or just search the Bottlecap Brigade. Also, if you're not doing anything on Thursdays around 6:45 Mountain Standard Time, be sure to check out the Bottlecap Brigade's live stream. Lastly, if you'd like to like and subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. Viewers like you help us make more of this content, and that makes us really happy. Let's begin. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dungeons and Dialogues. Today we're going to be covering the second part in my Icewind Dale series, and we're going to be talking about some of the spells and the spell books that were included in this release. Now there's not many of them, so it's going to be a pretty short video, but I wanted to touch on it really quickly because I find it important. Anytime new spells are introduced to the D&D universe, it's kind of a big deal. There's a chance that some of them could be maybe kind of unbalanced or just a little bit confusing, so I wanted to cover that. Two, the spell books that are included in this, I think they're really, really cool, and they give a lot of added value to anyone that pick them up. So I think it's a really cool thing for any DM to focus on. Two, thank you for being patient with my continually messy studio. We're in the process of moving, so it's just, this is my life right now. So let's begin. So the first one that we're going to cover is called Frost Fingers. It's a first level evocation, and it comes out in a 15-foot cone. It's also instantaneous, which is great, kind of like a cantrip, just you gotta use a spell slot. Freezing cold blasts from your fingertips in a 15-foot cone. Each creature in that area must make a Constitution saving throw, taking 2d8 cold damage on a failed save, or half that much damage on a successful one. The cold freezes non-magical liquids in the area that aren't being worn or carried. Overall, pretty dope, pretty standard 2d8 damage, halved if they fail to throw. But it's cool because it freezes water and stuff. If you're in a pinch, you can use it as kind of a roleplay mechanic or to get out of a bind. So the second one that we're going to cover is called Create Magen. Now, Magen is a new creature that's kind of been introduced within the Icewind Dale series. And without getting too in depth, they're really, really, really strong. So this is a great spell. It gives you, as a wizard, something to really, really rely on as far as kind of like a familiar that essentially can do damage dealing and stuff for you. The spell drawback is that it actually kind of sucks health away from you to be able to conjure this Magen. But overall, I mean, you essentially get an additional party member that you can deal damage with, so it's a pretty good spell. The third one is called Blade of Disaster. It only takes a bonus action to cast, and it lasts up to a minute. This spell does a lot of damage, and it can really be versatile because it can go anywhere. It opens up a rift in space-time, and you can use it to attack anything on the battlefield. So very, very strong, very, very high-level spell at 9th level. I mean, you can't beat stuff like that. Now, in addition to those three spells, there's actually two spell books that you can find while you're adventuring through Icewind Dale. These are the Codicil of White and the Incantations of Iriolartha. Yes, I had to practice that like 3 or 4 times. Iriolartha. So the Codicil of White gives you resistance to cold damage, which is always awesome. And it gives you access to a spell, an incantation, and some fun little DM things. Spoilers that I really don't want to release in this video. But it looks cool. I mean, it looks like a really good item to give out to a player character. For the second one, the Incantations of Iriolartha, said it right. This one's a bit more of a traditional spell book. It has a bunch of pages with a bunch of wizard spells that are great when you're running your wizard through Icewind Dale. I think overall, having that as an additional kind of thing to boost your wizard, depending on how many player characters you have in your session, could be a really good way to kind of give them some additional utility. But that's it, honestly. I just wanted to do kind of a quick rundown of the small additions that they made to spells within Icewind Dale. And even though they're not necessarily big, I think they're kind of fun. I think being able to summon a Magen is a pretty good little additional ability. But other than that, like and subscribe below. Let me know down in the comments what all I pronounced incorrectly, because I'm sure it was half of that stuff. And look out for some more fun Icewind Dale content to be released as I get a little bit further through this massive tome of stuff that just got dropped on us. So wear masks, stay safe, wash your hands. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
Well, he looks like 2 8 balls on Square Scroll.